Howdy folks, want to see another computer? Well, here you go. Here is another one that I paid too much money for, that I almost didn't buy because I wasn't even sure if it was a computer at first, because it's the first time I think I've seen a computer with a handle on it like this. You know, on the surface it doesn't look like it's that interesting. In fact, I almost wondered if it was just an empty case at first. It's certainly heavy for an empty case, but it's lightweight for a full computer. But that's exactly what it is. It is a full PC, and it's still kind of unwieldy even with the handle. With a undoubtedly extremely cheap power supply. I mean, look at that. So, again, on the surface, this doesn't look that new. Usually when I find computers at the thrift store, they're Pentium 4s at best. Or, I'm sorry, Core 2 Duos at best. Usually they're Pentium 4s. Or they're Celerons of some description or another. But let's take this thing into some light and have a closer look. Because this is not, well, actually, it could still be a Celeron, but it's certainly newer than a Pentium 4. Okay. First of all, this is a micro ATX case. If we flip it around, you'll see that there are 4 slots, which is kind of an oddity in and of itself. Normally when you find things like this, they're full-size ATX with all the slots, and someone's just put a micro ATX board in it. But if we flip this on its side, I remove the screws, we pop this open. Through all of the extreme amount of dirt and dust, we can see, this is as found, I haven't done anything to this, that we have an ASRock motherboard. Now, what kind is it? H61M-VS. So hey, that's not bad. This is a Sandy Bridge era system. Now, it remains to be seen whether or not it's still any good, because it looks like the heatsink has come removed, so I'm going to have to redo that. Almost pretty much no matter what I do. I almost wonder if that was ever in place at all. Wow. But that actually allows us to see what chip that is. Sort of. I can't really tell. And, I mean, you can't read the silk screening from there. So, I am going to have to do some work. Put some new thermal compound on that. Given it's got that shiny there, I'm trying to read that. Okay, I went ahead and I just simply cleaned it up, because I knew I was going to have to redo it anyway. And we can see that this is a Core i3-2100. Pretty low end. But that's fine. I mean, it's an ASRock motherboard after all, so I'm not sure what more you can expect. The CPU fan was plugged in down there, and I don't know what that is, because I can't really see it. But, yeah, that's chassis fan. So I'm not sure why it wasn't plugged into the CPU fan connector, which is right there, but it was not. Let's see, is this heatsink actually usable? Yeah, it looks like all of the pins are intact. But I'm kind of wondering if this was ever installed correctly at all. So, I don't know. It's kind of intriguing. I don't know what RAM this is either. And I don't think I'll be able to, yeah, I won't really be able to read that from there. But this hard drive, that is, I think it's a 320. Yep, that's a 320 gigabyte Caviar Blue drive, so that's not bad. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this, I'm going to use the air compressor, which is already fired up. I'm going to clean this out, because this is nasty. Okay, folks, you ready for the dust cloud? Sure would be impressive. Okay, a couple of things. Number one, I've actually replaced the heatsink with a different one because I broke one of the pins trying to get the other one back on. Due to a design quirk with this board that I don't think you'll actually be able to see. But, this board actually is multi-heatsink compatible. And by that I mean you could use the 1155, I think is what it is. Yeah, this is a Sandy Bridge, so it'd be 1155 cooler. Or you could use the older style 775 cooler. But because it's got both sets of holes, the cooler wants to go into both different sets of holes. So you get one pin in the 1155, another in the 775, and then it just all goes to hell in a handbasket. That's probably why the cooler wasn't installed correctly. So, like I said, it's probably never been installed correctly from the factory. So, it's any wonder if that CPU actually still works or it burned up. Of course, there could be all manner of problems. I did not test this because I didn't really feel like it because I thought that was going to be a really cheap power supply that's probably likely to blow up. It says it's rated for 500 watts. Yeah, I don't think so. I think you might get maybe 200 watts out of that. But there's a low power system anyway, so it's probably not going to stress that thing out. So as long as the caps are good in it, which I don't know, but if they're good, it's probably fine. Plug the heatsink into plug the fan into the correct spot on the board. So I'm going to put the cover on, and then I'm going to give it a try, and we'll see if it actually happens to do anything interesting, or if it's just completely dead to the world. Okay, juiced up the wall socket. Let's juice up the computer and see what happens. Lights flickered. Comes on. Hey! Is the fan in that power supply actually working? Let's see what it boots into. Oh, something with the new style Windows logo. Probably Windows 10 if I had to guess. Okay, I don't think the fan on the case is working, and I'm not so sure that the fan in the power supply is working. I'm going to go ahead and take a look. It's very green. Yeah, that's Windows 10. And I'm pretty sure it's password protected. I would like to think that it's password protected. Yeah, she is password protected. I've never actually tried this reset password thing, so I don't know what it's going to do when I do this. Yeah, well, whatever. We'll see if we can break into it. Okay, so the front panel USB is working. The hard drive LED is not. The power LED is, as is the power switch. Haven't tried the reset. Okay. So, what are we doing? Please select partition number 1. We need to do the, holy crap, what is going on with this? Password reset. List users and groups. Let's take a look. 3E8 is the one that we want. I want to blank the password. Alright. Now, the screen keeps going blank like that. I don't know why. Do it. No new run. Control-Alt-Delete. I don't know if it actually took it. Nope, of course not. Control-Alt-Delete. There we go. Pull that USB. Go to Windows 10. And play the waiting game. Play the out of focus game, apparently. Come on, camera. for it to boot. I'm not sure why the screen was flashing in the text mode for some reason. Still don't know how much RAM this thing has. I'm going to point at the keyboard just in case it does something racy. I don't know if I mentioned it. The power supply fan is running. The rear case fan's not. It's got somebody's face on it. Can I do anything? Well, it's got a phone number. That's not very good. I didn't even notice that. Now, this is Windows 10 on a hard drive. This takes for bloody ever. Somebody's TurboTax from 2019. Apparently they had an HP LaserJet, what does that say, M101 to M106 or something? Alright, we'll go to Personalize. Battlefield 1 Morse code. Okay, can I get this phone number off the screen? I don't even know what this is. So I could probably show this, at least. We can let this thing do what it needs to do. Take absolutely forever in the process. Clearly they must have had a bigger monitor than this. Okay, let's see. There's a dog. I'm just going to set it to the default Windows background. Just like that. Okay. So I should be able to close this now, and we can take a look at the actual desktop. So now you can see something. What on earth? I don't know. Team Fortress 2, Ice screenshot. Probably shouldn't open that on video. A PDN file, I have no idea. Paint.net, this is paint.net on it. Yeah, holy crap. I want to, give me an Explorer window. I didn't ask for that, I said Windows key E. Giant mosquito, look at that thing. Not anymore. Oh, it's still here. How about you die, you piece of useless crap? I'm sure I made it angry now. Let's see, what's on this? We have quite a lot of data. I'm not sure why there's an Excel worksheet in the network locations. I think the last time I worked on a computer that happened too. That, what was that? That DC7900 or something? Alright. So, yeah, there's all kinds of junk on here. Probably all kinds of user data that I'm not going to go through on video. I do want to check some of these last used dates, though. Looks like 2021 was probably the last time this was really used. 10/11/2022. Oh, yeah, that's because they've got it set to day, month, year, which is wrong. 2011, 2015, 2018. Yeah, it looks like really the last time this was used for much, other than somebody's taxes, was 2018. I don't know what that is, but it certainly does not look very, Hang on a minute, last month. No, this was used recently. It's got all kinds of junk on it. What the heck? I think this is probably the most, like, banking information and tax details that I've seen on one of these. That's pretty bad. Like, I could use that to get doing all kinds of things. I guess they thought that having a password on it was gonna keep people from getting into it. Well, you saw just how easy it is to remove a Windows password from a system, so. Yeah, so this was used, looks like most actively it was last used probably in 2018, but it was certainly used probably up until the day it was donated, so kind of amazing that it still worked. Like I said, it's probably never been installed properly, like heatsink. So, I'm not putting this on my network, there's probably about 500 viruses on it. Yeah, there's all kinds of unscrupulous nonsense that I can go through on this. Let's take a look at the properties. See what we got going on. This will tell us what kind of RAM we've got too, because I haven't actually looked at that yet. If it'll ever load. I'll probably conclude the video with that. How many icons do they have on this? They've got all this extraneous junk. So let's see if we can get rid of all this extra stuff. And we could take a look at what they've got. Not much. So they got 4 gigs of RAM. Ouch. At least it's a 64-bit version of Windows. Windows 10 Pro even, so that's not bad. Can I see the activation information? Is this an upgrade from Windows 7? I mean, this probably won't tell me anything, but I'm kind of intrigued. I clicked on the change product key and the whole thing just went to pot, so that's good. Oh yeah, working great. You know, Windows 10 on a hard drive. Woohoo. Activated with a digital license. Okay, so in all likelihood, this was probably a Windows 7 system that somebody went for the free upgrade on. That would be my guess anyway. Is there a Windows.old folder? That would tell me something as well. It doesn't look like it, so it was probably removed. Oh, telemetry. Cool. That's good. Registry backup. Folder of pictures. In the root of the drive for some reason. Cool, cool. Typical problems that we have with systems. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this with that. And I'm just going to shut the video off. So I'll preview some of this off camera. But yeah, there's your computer with a handle. And stay tuned, there'll probably be more, because this is probably going to become a server of some kind. What, I don't know yet, but I'm thinking about using it to replace what's become my low-end radio file server, so we'll see what happens with respect to that. But for now, I'd like to thank you for watching, and if you've got a comment, feel free to leave it down below.